Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into a classic problem from real analysis, proving that the product of two ruled functions on a compact interval is itself a ruled function. If you're wondering what's a ruled function, don't worry. We'll cover the first step and then go step by step through a complete rigorous proof, and I'll explain the intuition behind each step. So let's start with the definition. A function f taking on values from a to b into r is called a rule function or regulated function if for any tiny number epsilon greater than 0, there exists a step function phi such that the maximum difference between f and phi is less than epsilon. So this is the notation that we have. To summarize this, you can approximate f as closely as you like with step functions. Step functions are just piecewise constant functions, so it's very easy to handle. So again, this is phi is going to be our step function. Okay. Now the theorem that we want to prove is this. If f and g are ruled functions on a compact interval, a to b, then the product f times g is also a ruled function. Intuitively, this makes sense. If each function can be approximated by step functions, then the product should also behave nicely. But we need a precise argument. Step 1 is boundedness. Every ruled function on a compact interval is bounded. Why? Because we can pick a step function that approximates f within 1. So here we let epsilon be 1. Step functions only take finitely many values, so they're bounded. Then by the triangle inequality, f itself is bounded. So let's look at the inequality here. So if we start with f of x, and really we could just say f of x is equal to f of x minus phi of x plus phi of x. And we take the triangle inequality, we'll lump in f of x minus phi of x, and then we'll have that phi of x over here. And here we should have phi of 1. That's what we have here, phi of 1. Okay, so that's going to be less than, well, we said that phi of x minus phi of 1 of x, absolute value of that is less than 1. And then we know that phi of 1x is a step function, and that's obviously bounded because it's a constant. So we'll say that the upper bound, or we'll say that basically phi of 1 of x is equal to k in this interval. So then f of x is less than 1 plus k. Similarly, if we let m1 and m2 be positive, be constants, such that f of x is bounded by m1 and g of x is bounded by m2 for all x in the interval, now we can see that if we let epsilon be greater than 0, because f and g are ruled functions, there exists a step function phi and psi satisfying the absolute value of phi of x minus phi of x is less than epsilon over 2 times m2, and the absolute value of g of x minus psi of x is less than epsilon over 2 times m1. And so before all x in the interval. So if you notice the denominators here, it ensures that when we multiply the functions, the total error will still be less than epsilon. So here we're going to assume, without less generality, that the absolute value of phi of x is less than or equal to m1. So that means phi of x is bounded by m1. Now step 3 is the key estimate. We look at the difference between the product and the product of approximations. So remember, f and g is the actual, and then phi and psi are the estimate. So then here we could just write this. Basically, we're just going to subtract by phi of x g of x and add phi of x g of x. Okay, and then phi of x g of x and phi x psi x are the same here. And then we'll just use a triangle inequality. So phi of x times g of x minus phi of x times psi of x is less than or equal to the less than or equal to g of x times the absolute value of phi of x minus f of x minus phi of x plus the absolute value of phi of x, or phi of x times absolute value of g of x minus psi of x. And now we can substitute the bounds. G of x is less than or equal to m2, and then the absolute value of phi of x is less than or equal to m1. So these guys are just going to be m2 and m1 respectively, and then phi of x minus phi of x. Phi of x is that's the epsilon over 2 m2, and then the absolute value of g of x minus psi of x is less than or equal to epsilon, or is less than epsilon over 2 m1. And so the m2 and the m1 is going to cancel. Epsilon over 2 plus epsilon over 2 is equal to epsilon. Since this holds uniformly for all x in the interval, the sequence of step functions converges uniformly to f times g. Therefore, fg is a ruled function. Now, the other way to do this is to look at the one-sided limits. So we're looking at some constant c from the right and the left, and f times g of x. So f of x times g of x is basically, when you do the limit, it's going to be the product of limits. So it's going to be whatever it is. So basically what this is saying, this is equal to limit x approaches c of phi of x times limit x approaches c from the right of g of x. And that's going to equal this thing. F of x from the right, g of x from the right. And same argument from the left. So, which exists for all c in the interval. And this confirms that f times g is ruled.